Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Namaste and welcome. My name's Keith. This practice will follow up on Monday's Mantra Monday, and in that I talked about Kartikeya and the Peacock. If you missed that, feel free to go back and check it out anytime. But just to remind you, Kartikeya is one of the sons of Shiva, and his vehicle or his vahana is the peacock. And both this young warrior and this beautiful bird are powerful warriors. Kartikeya's power and strength were foretold before he was born. And the peacock is the natural enemy of snakes, but partly because of its fierceness and partly because of its power of digestion. So that's where we'll start today. You can bring your hands up into your heart. Let your eyes close if you like.
Shivo Hum. I am Shiva. I am the power of transformation. Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum. I honor that quality within. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. That quality is the highest form of God. Shivo Hum, 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 Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. 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 Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Namah Shivaya, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Mahadeva, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Shiva, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Shivo, Shivo Hum, Shivo Hum. Start to make your way onto all fours.
As you get to all fours, lay the tops of your feet flat behind you. And then begin to paw at your mat, rocking side to side, turning your fingers out, slowly turning them around, until your fingertips start to face back toward your knees. And then you can retrace that, walking, pawing, cat on a sweater, leaning side to side, and just waking up your wrists. And then when your hands are turned around again, begin to walk your hands backward toward your knees. And when you get there, pause just in front of your knees. Take your knees a little bit wider and bring your toes a little bit closer. And then when you exhale, move your hips back toward your heels. Breathe in, shift some weight forward into your hands. And then exhale, reach backward with your hips to your heels. Moving that way through your wrist. You decide how much you move here. Your wrists will tell you how much they want. Just waking up your hand. You can keep your hands there in front of your knees, or as weight moves into them, you can shift them closer to each other, just narrowing the space. So perhaps just your pinky fingertips touch. Couple more of those. And then the next time that your hips are back on your heels, pause there. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, stick out your tongue. Breathe in, and out with your tongue, lion. Again, breathe in. One more time, breathe in. Shift some weight into your hands again. And then begin to separate your hands in that same pawing, walking. And walk your hands forward until it feels like you're in all fours, a relatively normal distance between your wrists and your knees. And then narrow your knees again and widen your toes so that your knees and your feet line up again. So all fours, but your hands are backward.
And then from there, curl your toes and stretch your leg out. So it becomes a plank. And like you were moving before, when you breathe in, shift some weight forward, so you're more on your toes, heel of your hand. And then as you exhale, press backward with your heels. Forward and backward. Stay strong in your middle as you do it, breathing in and breathing out. Shifting and back. Notice your gaze and move it forward a touch. Couple more times. One last, reaching forward and back. And then drop your knees. Sit back on your heels, release your hands, and roll your wrists around. You're going to come back into that shape with your hands one more time. But your hands are going to be narrowed again, so just the tip of your pinkies together. Have the same movement with your legs, reaching back, but also narrow your feet. Stay strong in your belly. When you breathe in and shift forward, pick up your right toes, point your foot. Exhale back. Shift forward, left toes up and back. A couple more times. Forward with your right toes and back. Forward with your left toes and back. So it's not a high lift of your leg. One more time, right toes and back. And left toes and back. Release your knees. Separate. Come on to all fours. Curl your toes under. And then move back into downward dog. You can move through your legs a little bit here. Pedal. Pause in your dog. And then slowly begin to walk yourself up to the front of your mat. Fold into yourself. You can flutter your lips. And then ease yourself up to stand. Exhale everything out. Roll your shoulders back and down. And feel where the weight is on your feet. Inhale your arms up alongside your head. And exhale, return to your heart. Release. Do it again. Arms up, breathing in. And then down through your heart and release. Inhale your arms up alongside your head. Pass into your heart and release your arms by your sides. Again, breathing in, arms up. Gaze up. And then at your heart to release. Arms up with your gaze. When you exhale, move into a shallow step with your right foot and sweep past your knee. You can rock onto your heel. Arms up again. Reach deeper with your right leg into a high lunge. Drop your fingers down by your toes and step forward. Fold. Reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Gaze up. Pause through your heart and release your arms. Arms up, lift your gaze. Shallow step with your left foot, turn out with your left toes, sweep past your left knee as you rock. Deepen it into a high lunge, arms up. Drop your fingers so you can step forward and fold into yourself. All the way up, breathing in, Urdhva Hastasana. And release. Again. Breathing in, arms up. Step with your right toes, turn out and sweep past your knee. Get a little deeper in it. High lunge, inhale your arms up. When you drop your hands, step back into downward facing dog. Roll out long for plank pose. Hug your elbows to your body as you lower all the way or part of the way. Cobra or upward dog. Downward facing dog. Move your right foot forward. Exhale your 2 feet together. Arms up, breathing in. Release down by your sides, Tadasana. Arms up, inhale, Urdhva Hasta. Take a shallow step with your left foot, sweep past your knee, rock to your right heel. High lunge, breathing in. Exhale your hands down to step back, downward dog. Strong and long in both directions. Bend your elbows in close, gaze forward. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog. Move your left foot forward to breathe in. And exhale your 2 feet together. Fold in. Arms up. Get tall. And release down by your sides. Pause here. Breathe all the way in and out. Arms up to breathe in. Fold over and touch down. Simply step your way back into downward dog. And pause here. Exhale everything out. Move your right foot to the front of your mat to breathe in. Walk your hands over to the left, pivot onto your left heel, and simply sink into your right leg bending. Undo that, pivot back around, anchor into your left foot, and cartwheel up for warrior 2. Pause for a moment to open up your arms. Tip your way back for peaceful warrior. And then down to the ground. Breathe into plank. Bend your elbows. Flip your toes to open your chest. Back to down dog. Inhale your left foot up to the front. Walk your hands to the right. Pivot onto your right heel so you can bend your left knee a little bit deeper. Come back through the center, adjust both feet, and cartwheel up with your right arm, warrior 2. Sink into both legs, and then flip and tip, peaceful warrior. Cartwheel down around your front leg. Breathe into plank pose. Strong at your belly as you hover. Flip your toes and open your chest. Back you go, downward dog. Inhale your right foot forward. Walk your hands over to the left. Sink in that same way. And then pivot around, warrior 2. Tip right back for peaceful warrior. Turn your chest forward, clasp your hands, dive down. Devotional warrior. Release both hands. Breathe out into Chaturanga Dandasana. Over your toes. Downward dog. Move your left foot up. Walk over to the right. Pivot a little bit deeper into a Skandasana, preparing for it. Back around to your left foot for warrior 2. Tip back, but turn your torso forward. Lower your left arm so you can clasp and bow. Devotional. Release your hands. Step back as you exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Over opening. Back to down dog. Take an extra breath here. We're going to rearrange that a little bit so that Skandasana can come into it in a fuller expression. Move your right foot up to the front. Right into Warrior Two. Breathe out. Tip back with your breath in and rotate your chest forward. Dive into Devotional Warrior. Keep the clasp. Stay low. Pivot. Sink in. Skandasana. Open your arms up. Pivot through long legs and right into triangle pose. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Bend your front knee, release your hand. Step and lower, Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. Move your left foot up to the front. Exhale right into Warrior Two. Tip back for peaceful on your way to devotional. Exhale and dive down. Stay low. Lift just enough to pivot. Change. Open up. Breathing in. Drop your hand, adjust both feet, lengthen through both legs, and open up triangle pose. Breathing all the way in. And out. Bend your knee to drop to the ground. Step and exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Do it one more time with your right foot coming forward. Exhale up for Warrior Two. Tip back, spin forward with your chest. Devotional clasping. It might look exactly the same. Or as you shift and pivot, you can release and wrap your arms around your leg. Clasping and binding, Skandasana. Release on your way over to your right toes. Keep your right knee bent, side angle. Breathing all the way in and out. Release your hand to the ground. Step and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Move with your left foot. Exhale up for Warrior Two. Tip it back, open your chest. Devotional, Bhakti Virabhadrasana. Stay low, adjust your feet, bend your knee deeper. You can keep the open arms or wrap around as you open your chest up. Skandasana, peek over to the right. Release, pivot, keep your left knee bent. Side angle as you extend from your right foot to your right arm. Breathe all the way in and out. Hands down with the breath in. Step and lower. Exhale, Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Give yourself one more breath here. Soften your knees. You can walk or step or jump. Come to your fingertips and then fold. Utkatasana as you come up. And then release your arms. Roll back your shoulders. Sink the weight into your entire foot. Stay on your feet. And I'll start to mirror you here. Shift a little more weight over into your right foot. As you do, Bring your left foot up and across, and you can start with a figure 4. Happily stay here and balance this way. Or if some of the previous movements have given you room, bend your standing leg some and flirt with the idea of bringing your heel up and crossing into your hip crease for half lotus. And then just pause with that. Make sure that you're not forcing your knee to do anything, and liven up the spaces between your toes. Soften and release. Do that much on the other side. Shift the weight into your left foot. You can bend your left knee some. Figure 4. Pause here. Or from there, you can start to reach down and guide your foot up and across. And see what it feels like. Just test the water. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. And then release that and go back over to the other side, shifting the weight into your right foot. Bring your left leg up, figure 4 again, or into a half lotus. And if you did that, you can let your left arms come around your back and find your foot. If you found your foot, just pause with about half of a prayer in front of your chest. And then begin to hinge forward and bow down. Let your head get heavy. Give your head a little shake. And then right from there, soften your standing leg and ease your way back up to stand. Release your grip. And then try that much on the other side. You shift your weight into your left foot. Can figure 4 again and stay here. Or begin to take a half lotus, bringing your foot up and over. And you can use your left hand here the whole time to hold your foot, and you don't have to fold over. If you like, let your right arm go around your back. You might grab your opposite elbow, or you can grab your foot. Half of a prayer at the center of your heart. You can stay here or begin to hinge. Soften your standing leg. Bow down. Press your palm and let your head hang. And then right from here, soften your standing leg, ease your way up, and release. Take a moment to sink into both feet. Exhale into your feet, and then bend both knees, raise both arms, Utkatasana. Fold over and touch the ground. Lean into your hands, and you can jump back or step back for Chaturanga Dandasana. Over your toes and into down dog. Pause here. Breathe all the way out. So it'll be just like standing. You'll move your left knee forward first for pigeon. Release your back toes. Sink in. And stay upright to open your chest. Breathing all the way out. Give yourself one more moment here, that's all. Lean some weight to your left hip. Bring your right foot around. Step your right foot down and press into it. Step your way back. Turn your back heel down. And warrior 1, come up with both arms. Breathe all the way in. And all the way out. Release both hands down to the floor, onto your back toes, and take a 3-leg dog, breathing in. Draw your knee into your nose and round. One more time, take your leg up, pull your knee to your nose, and come into pigeon. Release your back foot. Stay lifted. Breathe all the way in. And then lean some weight over to the right. Bring your left foot around. Step on your left foot. Press into the ground. Step back and turn down your back heel for warrior one. Breathing up through your heart, long through your armpits. Empty down to the ground. Take a 3-leg dog. Draw your left knee in around your back. Take it up the same way, breathing in. And then draw your left knee forward, pigeon. Release your back toes. Come forward to your elbows this time. Breathe into your left hip. Try not to lean in that direction though, so feel as balanced across your pelvis as you can. And then as you start to lean to your left, bring your right foot around, step down, plant your hands, a little shorter of a stance, drop into your back heel and open up your chest. Cross your left hand over by your right foot, and then start to revolve open for a revolved triangle. Keep moving your outer right hip back in space. And then both hands down. Deepen your stance with your left toes going back. 3-leg dog. Breathing in. Draw your knee into your nose and pause here. Pause, pause, pause. Pigeon. Open up your chest. And then you can come down to your elbows. Have a moment here. Remember, you're not leaning to the side. As you lean to your right, bring your left foot around. Step down on your left foot. Take your shorter stance. Tense your fingers to open your chest. And then move your right hand over by your left foot as you revolve. Add your left arm into the sky. Firm up through your back leg. Revolving your triangle. And then release. Deepen your stance. 3-leg dog. One time you exhale your knee in. Empty, empty, empty. Pigeon. You can come down a little bit deeper this time and let your head get close to your hands. Shift some weight to the left. Bring your right leg around. Step on your right foot. Keep your face close to your right knee and have standing split. Tuck into yourself. So your left knee comes across the back of your right leg and then revolve to the right. Breathing in. And out. Go one more time here. And then counter twist all the way to face the back of your mat. When you get here, you're on all fours. Turn your hands so they face you. Narrow the space. Use your curled toes and create plank legs. Bend your elbows into your body and look forward. Coming into a pre-peacock. Drop your knees. Turn your hands around. All fours, downward dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale your knee to your nose, round, round, round. Pigeon it down. Release. And you can come down to your elbows and drop your face close to your hands. Lean some to the right. Bring your left foot around. Step on your left foot. Keep your face close to your knee so that there's a deep forward bend quality as you move into standing split. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana. Tuck into yourself and revolve left. Breathe all the way in and out. And then counter twist all the way around so that you come onto all fours. Turn your fingers back. Narrow your hands. Firm up your legs. And then bend your elbows and deposit your body onto your elbows. So you've shifted forward like earlier. Shift back. Drop your knees. Turn your hands around. Downward dog. And then release your knees. We're going to come at that one more time, perhaps two more times, moving toward Peacock, toward Mayurasana. So you can do exactly what we did before with your hands narrow, plank, and bend your elbows. Or you can start on all fours and follow what I'm about to say. So if I'm starting on all fours, it's just going to bring things in a little bit more. You're not really putting your elbows directly in your belly. It's ever so slightly higher, just so it feels like it's in your solar plexus. So starting off, all fours, but with backward hands. Your elbows will naturally bend in, but as I'm bending into my elbows, I already have to shift. So as I'm shifting, legs, press. And then release. Because if I start with everything on the ground and I try to pick something up, then there's always going to be something that doesn't want to come up. So if I'm in that shape that we all did just a moment ago, and then try to pick up my legs, it's a little hard. But if I start and let the forward motion carry me into the shape, it's a little bit easier. It's always going to have some challenge to it. So that looks this way one more time. Hands, elbows, curl, shift. And release. Pause. And roll your wrists around. Sometimes when you're doing this shape, it feels like your legs are the biggest hindrance because you have to pick them up. So the final way I'll mention this is with lotus legs. So if you were doing half lotuses when we were standing, you can put a full lotus into this. Crossing over, again, no force. And then after that, it's pretty much the same. So I'm going to come up onto my knees to get set up. It's like being on all fours. And then my hands flip around, narrow in. And then as I shift forward and my elbows come to my solar plexus, that's where my legs will come off the ground. And then you can do that on the other side if you like. Otherwise, undo your legs and make your way to all fours. After the peacock comes peacock feather. or Pinchamayurasana, forearm stand. Drop down to your elbows, and you can always stay here or move over to a wall that's close by, setting yourself up with your fingers pointing at the wall. Make sure your elbows are under your shoulders, and curl your toes. You can stay here, or press your legs long. Shorten your distance a little bit. Press down through your arms so that there's some life in your lats. You can stay here. Or begin to lift your gaze and see where your hands are. And take one leg up. That's your breath in. You can stay here. Or use the exhale, bending your standing leg and hopping as many times as you need. If you come up, touch your inner big toes together. Continue to press the ground so you don't shorten your neck. And then one leg down. Take a moment to sit on your heels. Breathe all the way in and out. And then one more time. Elbows down. Stopping where you need to stop here or here. Or you can check the other leg and bring it up and stay here. Or exhale a little hop. Pressing the floor away. Gazing at the floor. Breathing in. And out. And slowly. Release, release. Exhale everything out. Next, we're going to move into Virasana. So if you like to have a blanket or a bolster under your bum, you can add that. Otherwise, narrow your knees in and have a seat in between your feet. If you take the outer edge of your thighs and tuck it under your hamstring, and do that on both sides, it gives you a little bit more drop. Breathing in. Notice if your weight wants to drift forward, and see if you can stack your spine from your head down to your tail. Happily stay with the seat, or you can start to recline back to your elbows. When you get here, do a little lift of your hips. So you lengthen the front side of your hips and then drop again. You can go all the way down to the ground if you like. If that causes any stress in your knees or in your back, come back up to sitting. So if you reclined, sink into your head and shoulders. See if you can release some of what wants to happen in your legs. Breathe as fully as you can. Sink your shoulder blade some, just to take away some of the back bend. You can keep your arms down by your sides, or you can frame around your head and grab your opposite elbows. Last couple of breaths. And then release your arms if they're above your head. Let your hands come close to your heels so you can press into one elbow and then a palm, and the other palm. Coming up to sit. Let everything drop. And then make your way onto all fours. Stretch out one leg behind you. Stretch out the other. And then swing your feet to the side so you can sit down to your bum and make your way onto your back. As you get down on your back, just touch the back of your heels just to make sure that your feet are relatively underneath your knees. And press down into your feet to lift your hips. Move your hands to the floor next to your head. Pause here. Draw your elbows in. And then sink your hips and release your arms. And take a moment right there. And then set it up again as you lift your hips. Place your hands to the mat next to your head. And then you can stay here like that or press into your hands to lengthen your elbows. Making your way into wheel. Bring your chin to your chest. Ease your way down. You can roll your wrists around. And then one last time, check your feet. Make sure that you're not turning your toes out on the way up. Lift your hips and set your hands. And then press the ground away. Full inhale. Unhinge your jaw. And then ease down. Move your knees from side to side. Good. And then you can roll to your side to come up. And stretch out your legs. And then bend your right knee, bring the sole of your right foot to your leg. And already allow your body to rotate here. Taking a twist to the right. Tense your right hand behind your body. Rest your left hand on your leg. Hook your right shoulder blade to your spine. Breathing all the way in. And all the way out. Sit tall and sink into your left sitting bone. It will lift a tiny bit off the ground, but make sure you're not pulling it up. And then turn and face your left leg to bow over it. For Janu Shirsasana. Empty your right shoulder. And then ease your way up. Extend your right leg and bring the sole of your left foot in. Twist to the left. Remember, your right hand just rests on your leg. Get tall through your spine. A little bend in your left elbow will help hook your left shoulder blade around to your spine. Breathe all the way in. And out. Come back around to face your right toes. And then bow over your left leg. Keep some openness in your chest so that the hinge is primarily in your hip crease, not flexing your spine to come down. There'll always be some roundness to your upper back, but no need to overdo it just to get your head down. And then up to sit. When you bring your soles together, form a bigger shape, more of a diamond for Tarasana. Walk your hands down to your feet, and you can interlace under your baby toes. And just pause here. So notice if you immediately want to start using your arms to pull. Flare your elbows to take the initial fold, the initial bend, and then pause. Apply a little force to open up your chest. So there's almost a quasi back bend there. And then release and bow in the direction of your feet, but release the work in your arms too. See where you are. Drag yourself open once more. And then bow, bow, bow. Maybe your head gets down. One more time, a little drag open. And bow. And sit yourself up. Take your legs long and wide. Feel free to let this be enough and sit. Or hinge forward. Come to your elbows. And pause here. Find some of that quasi back bend to open up. And then you can widen your elbows and stack your hands to bring your head down. Happily stay here. Or take your hands out to your feet, around your ankles. See if there's any bow there, forehead or chin to the floor. And then a big quasi-opening back bend of your chest here. And then you can lay your chest down. Ease your way up. Narrow your legs together. You can have some bend in your knees or keep your legs long as you fold over your legs for Paschimottanasana. Give your head a shake. You can flutter your lips. And ease your way up. And recline down to your back. Let everything drop for a moment. Rest your hands. Let your breath get shallow. Let your brain get heavy. Feel some extra sink at your belly. Imagine yourself as the peacock, or imagine yourself as the young warrior, or imagine yourself as both. Embodying this power of transformation. Shivo Hum. Knowing that it's within you. Knowing that it is you. Knowing that you are stronger than the venom, the poison of avidya. Stronger than this spiritual ignorance. Knowing that like Kartikeya, your greatness was foretold. And that you are here to do great things that only you can do. Don't hesitate. Act. Deepen your breath. Move your body. Walk your feet in. And rock yourself up. Find a seat. And join your hands to your heart. We are one life, we are one light, and we are one love. I bow with gratitude to the light in you that is the light in me. Peace be with you and blessings upon you. Thanks for tuning in. See you again next time.